Welcome. It's another beautiful day. As usual, I appreciate you for coming around. You're the reason why we're here, and we are very intentional not to take your time or waste your time. We'll make sure that whatever information we bring to you is all about you, is for your advancement, for your growth, for your uplifting, and for our nation's well-being and progress. Last Sunday I talked about why nation fell too. And we learned that nation fell first from our first series, lawlessness. From our second series we touched about unforgiveness. And today we are talking about confidence. And I titled it, Confidence Has Been Murdered, or When Confidence is Murdered. First, I will have to read a brief intro. Giving my body to be bound with love in my heart. These were the words of Charles Morrow, who burned himself alive to protest against racism. He further went on to say, I would much prefer I go on living and enjoying my beloved wife and grandchildren and others. So you see, he's a man that has family, but he chose to self-destroy himself because of a cause, for a purpose. Now, why will a man go such a length to prove a point? Why will a man have to take his own life in order to prove a point? These are the questions we should ask ourselves. But he went further to say, but I have come to believe that only my self-immolation will get the attention of anyone and perhaps inspire some to higher service. Though Sir Charles, there were some things he died on belief that I personally am not part of it. But I use him as a case study today to bring to us when confidence has been murdered. When the people can't get the ears of the government. When your child can't get your attention as a father because of you're always busy chasing money, trying to make them better, but you pay less attention to them. And this is not always the case. So I want to bring us down now. When confidence has been murdered, what follows? Now, I'm not talking about self-esteem now. Or I'm not talking about our personal self-esteem. But I guess I will touch a little. Now, loss of self-esteem can arise from a lot of things, both at childhood and adult, like poor academic performance. When someone is performing poorly in school, it can make you lose your self-esteem. Peer pressure, hanging out around toxic people that always have negative drive, can make your self-esteem to be low or to be down. Ongoing stress or life events, relationship breakdown or financial troubles. Your body, your posture, the way you look can make your self-esteem to be down. But I'm not talking about that. But before we go into that, let's first analyze what is democracy. First, I wrote a system of government by which the whole population or all eligible members of the state, typically through elected representative, the belief in freedom and equality between people, or a system of government. But in all this, I came to find out one definition of democracy more appealing, more explaining, more self-explaining, and that is Abraham Lincoln's explanation or definition of democracy. And he says that democracy is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Now, let's look at Charles Morrow again. He killed himself so that he can fight for democracy. I'm not indulging self-death, or I'm not indulging suicide. I'm not indulging it per se. I'm not indulging suicide. But I'm using this as an example to express when confidence is lost in a nation. In your staffs, as the CEO, as the MD, I'm using this to bring it down when confidence is lost. Now, if government is of the people, for the people, and by the people, Now, what happens when this confidence that is of the people, for the people, is no longer by the people? Then you know that peace is gone. Oneness is gone. Progress is gone. Unity is gone. When this government is no longer by the people, you're no longer standing with your people. You no longer hear your people. You've done to a deaf cobra. You do whatever you want to do. You exhibit act of ignorance that is detriment to the life of your people. You notice that the people will go sideways to ignite a fire that is not of probably genuineness. Now, the impact and consequences of bad government are widespread today, but today I'll be discussing about probably two. Or let's just, as time goes on, and it's one, poor economic growth. The effect of slower growth could include slower increase in living standard. Inequality may be noticeable to those of lower income. And you notice that those with lower income will not feel intimidated by their counterpart of the people earning more. And this will be evidence. Lower tax revenue. Unemployment will be so evident, it will be so alarming, it will grow. Now, education, private capital investment, and economic opportunity are all likely to suffer in the current downturn, and this effect will be long-lived. Or let's not even, what about corruption? Corruption within the system, within all systems, even religion. What about when corruption is so much eaten deep into our skins? First of all, corruption is dishonest or fraudulent conduct by those in power, typically involving bribery, selfish acts, greed. Let's not murder the confidence of our citizens because of our inability to listen to their cry. When confidence is murdered, death follows, depression. Everyone is unhappy. Everyone is trying to chase his or her own personal safe gain, and they forget about the greater good of the nation. And this can always happen when nobody is listening. We are all experiencing hardship, depression, terrorism, because someone failed to listen to his people, to listen to your children, your child, wherever they are now. I'm not talking about everyone. I'm talking about a set of people that is not getting it right. Your child might be trying to get your attention, fatherly attention, motherly attention, and because you're not giving them, probably there's a lot of mates around, and they want that your attention is different when someone else gives your child attention, and than when you give your child attention. You find that they will do everything to get it out, and why they do that, they're exposed to a lot of threats. You see a child being depressed because the child wasn't given the proper attention he or she needs or needed to grow. You see a lot of people breaking down because no one is listening to them. Deafness to your people is danger. It can lead to suicide, depression. Causes of corruption. The size and structure of the government can cause corruption. The democracy and the political system, the quality of institute, economic freedom, openness of economy, salaries of civil service, press freedom and judiciary, cultural detriments, percentage of women in labor force and parliament, colonial heritage, and the endowment of natural resources. All these things can lead to corruption. It can cause greed amongst our system. But we mustn't give these things room to creep in and cause disorder. We need to listen to the people. Whoever that is under us, we should give listening. The people are always threatened when no one is listening. And when they try to reach out to you or to us, and then they find out that no, we're not definitely paying attention to them, you find that they do whatever they want to do. And when probably this genuine, this longing, this strive to tell us their minds, to reach out to us might be genuine. And we find out that if we don't listen to them, this genuine hunger, thirst might lead them taking their lives, and we have nothing to benefit from this. We need to be intentional. We seriously need to be intentional. We need to wake up. The leaders, wake up. Don't murder the confidence of your people. I stand to defend democracy, or I stand to be democratic. I stand to be it. I wouldn't want anyone to beguile me. I will listen. Whoever that is taking any public office around us must listen to the people. Listen to your people. When the government is deaf, it leads to protest. When the government is deaf, it is deaf to the people. It leads to depression, to anxiety. When the CEOs fail to understand that the people working under them are humans, and you treat them like animals, it makes them mentally derailed. They go astray. They go extreme miles. They go extreme lengths to make sure that and this cause you find that they are totally disoriented. They cry. People are crying. Stop adding to people's sorrow. If you can't be a blessing, at least don't be a curse. You must learn that these people are humans too, like you. You must learn that these people need love. They need attention. The least you can give back to your society is to listen to them. Greater percentage of us can't be mad at the same time. When we can't confide in ourselves, then what is the need of living? When we can't confide in the government, when we can't confide in our religious leaders, when we can't confide in our civil leaders, when we can't confide in our academics, when we can't confide in ourselves, what is the need of living? Or what is the reason for living? Now, solutions to bring back our confidence. I wrote a few, and I will be very quick to run them down because of time. Now, number one, transparency. We need to be transparent. When you say this, when you say that, when you say, let it be so, let there not be any hidden agenda, let there not be any hidden motive that will later hurt the people or hurt yourself too. Disclose to the public of all assets of incoming candidates, those running for office. This is what we need to do now. 2023 is around the corner. We must be intentional to know the forms of how these people got to where they are. Let's all be detailed so that we can listen. In information lies clarity. When we know about you, we don't have any reason to call you a thief. When you are as clear as crystal, no one would have any reason to call you a thief. But when there's a declare your assets, and anyone that made this money in an ill way can't be bold to declare what they have. So we need to make strategic measures. We need to take strategic measures to make sure these people are brought to book. Clear separation of laws relating to areas of governance, business, and politics. Ensure access by public to all governmental information. Ensure media has freedom of speech. Ensure media has freedom of speech. Don't threaten any media house because they release any information that the people needs to listen. Or don't try to bulldoze them. Don't try to sweep them under the carpet. Because there might be information that might be helpful to the people, and when they try to declare it or when they try to make it public, you enforce them to hide it. It can cause harm to the nations. Don't do that. Let everyone have freedom of expression as long as it's guided by the law. Implementation of international monetary funds. Reports on standards and code framework. Release of government reports on payment. Stick to your vision. Set obtainable goals. Introduction of government Introduction of governance and anti-corruption survey report. Budget and meetings at city levels are transparent. If we can work with, because of time I wouldn't go much deeper into explanation. Probably the next series I will do that. But for now, I don't think I would touch on those areas. By curbing corruption within the government, within the governmental bodies, bad governance can be reduced. Now we have to also introduction of new institutional laws. We need to do this if we must have a peaceful nation. Listen to your people more. The peace of a nation is detriment, or the peace of a nation is needful. If you must have peace, you must listen. Don't murder the confidence of your people. Don't murder their confidence. Let them express themselves. I believe I will end tonight with this saying. Let me bring it down to us now. This is not just the government alone. How you treat your housemate matters a lot too. How you treat your staff matters a lot too. How you treat the people around you, it matters a lot too. So let's make sure we treat everyone alright, so as to avoid high rate of death in our nation, high rate of depression, high rate of drug addicts, alcoholic addicts. We need to, not just the government alone. Listen to your people. Listen to your congregation. Listen to everyone. And not just listening, work also to make sure if you have the power to enforce change, enforce it rightly. Be as clear as crystal. I guess this is what we need in our nation at this time. We must stop fooling ourselves. Deafness rises, or deafness to the people must make them protest. When they try to communicate with you in a genuine way and you don't want to listen, they will, and that protest, you might not like it. It might end up destabilizing the whole nation. I believe with this I will have to end there. Let us try our possible best to make sure we live right all the time. Thank you and have a good evening.